So this is my Centipede Sprint 4. So right away from last week, what I was missing was showing how my bullet factory does recycle objects appropriately. So I just have some console messages set up here to tell me the stack size and the recycled objects. So if I hit play, if I shoot a bullet, it should create a new bullet because there's nothing in the stack. So I'll shoot it. Bottom left in the output says new bullet and recycle stack size 1. So even if I try to reuse that bullet, I'll only be using the one I recycled, so that's pretty good. I set the external management so it'll send it back here instead of deleting it through normal methods. And I have the exact same thing set up for everything else that needs a factory in my game, so I have explosions. Really at any one time there would probably be only one explosion in the stack, but if for some reason multiple things die at the same time, I have the recycling working fine here. It's the exact same thing as the bullet factory. Same with the mushroom factory. I can test this, but for time I just won't. They're pretty much the exact same thing. And of course I have initializations in these classes that have factories made of them because some things need to be initialized after they're recycled. So I have that working. I have a flea created, so if I hit play, the flea makes a noise that goes down. It takes 2 hits to kill, so hopefully it drops more mushrooms this time actually. So I just have it spawn a flea right away for testing, but if there's less than 5 mushrooms in the player zone, which is where the player can move, a new flea will spawn. So I believe right now there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if I get rid of 3, so 1 more, a flea should spawn. So there you go, spawn some shrooms on the way down. How I have this set up is that every time remove mushroom is called in the field, it checks to see the current shroom in player zone count, which is just the amount of shrooms that the player zone has at the moment. The way that I do that is every time a field is created and every time a shroom is added or subtracted, I adjust the shroom in zone count appropriately. And on deletion of a shroom, if there's ever less than 5, a new flea will be created. So that's how I'm managing the specifications for if a flea can be created or not. This is of course going to be changed when I implement a spawner, but for now this is the best thing that works. I also have a scorpion, which was working the exact same way. It's still working fine from last week, but there's the sound now, so that's fine. So scorpion spawns either side. It goes across. It poisons mushrooms. That's pretty much all I can show for now. Let's see. The spider, I have this working too. It either spawns on the left or right and moves accordingly, so left to right or right to left. The movement is random, but it does eat up mushrooms, so you can see when it touches a mushroom it eats it up. And hopefully if I get this right I can kill it. So there you go, if I kill it, sound stops, explosion happens, it's dead. And yeah, the spider movement isn't ideal because it's random, but it does cycle between the specified movements that I give it, so up, down, and diagonal is based on the current direction it's moving. I'm assuming, well, I know that the spider does have a set movement pattern, so I should be able to set up an enum and specifically tell it what kinds of movements to do. But for now it's just a random chance based on a queue of movement offsets. I also have well, besides the 3 critters, they all have sound, they all can die. They have their respective movements and behaviors. Sadly, I was not able to get the centipede to where I need it to be. I'm falling behind for sure, and it's going to screw me over later, but I think I'm heading in the right direction now. I have an array of offsets instead of just moving by position. There's some turning when it hits a mushroom or wall, so that's better than nothing. Some rotation is better than nothing. Because it's in an array, I believe I can now have segments collect that information and use it for their own movement cues. The reason I didn't implement segments is, of course, I don't have the head working nearly as well as I need it to be. If I implemented segments now and the head needs to be changed, it's just going to be a nightmare in the future. So I really just want to get this done, and I hope I can by next sprint, because I know that most people have a fully working Centipede, and I should have had the split this week, but it's fine. If I can, as long as I get it done, then I'm happy. So that's that for the head. It pretty much just it initializes some offsets for movement. This check ahead function tells it what current offset array to set its current movement to, and then I have a counter where every frames it moves ahead in that array and adjusts the position accordingly. So that's what accounts for the not checking every frame, but whenever the array is empty, it checks, but also only if the counter is at the right position. So that's all I have for this week. I really hope to make more progress on the Centipede, but that's something I'm still working on. So, thanks.